Selamat pagi from New Zealand. This is your Bali News Update for October the 4th, 2020. Now, first we'll just go through the headlines. The story that was ran by me a few weeks back, probably over a month ago, about the two police officers extorting £1 million rupiah out of a Japanese tourist for a false traffic violation, have now been sentenced. The police who extorted tourists in Bali sentenced to prison time. The two police officers who extorted a Japanese tourist in Bali have been sentenced to prison time and a demotion. The disciplinary trial was on Tuesday, September the 29th. Now, when I first read this, I thought, prison sentence seems a bit harsh. Surely a fine or demotion or something else would be better, but when you read the whole article, it seems a little bit fair. Head of Bali Public Relations, Gombes Pol Siamsi, stated that the two officers have been punished for the crime. The first officer, the one that actually took the bribe, Made Windia, was found guilty and sentenced to 28 days in jail and a demotion. The other officer, Putu Gunadi, who witnessed the extortion but did not receive any of the bribe, has been sentenced to 21 days in jail and a demotion for letting the other officer take the bribe from the Japanese tourist. So they've both been demoted and they've also been shifted to another police station. However, when I thought the prison sentence was a bit harsh, it actually turns out that even though they've been demoted, they're going to remain on the same salary. So I think that's pretty fair. And it sends a message to all police officers in Bali, because this sort of extortion doesn't need to go on at all. In other news, a Canadian tourist was found mysteriously dead in a Canggu, Bali hotel. A Canadian man has been found dead under mysterious circumstances inside his hotel room in Canggu, Bali. The body of 45-year-old Scott Gerard was discovered on Wednesday at 9 a.m. by hotel staff. The victim was found by a hotel staff member when the villa owner asked her to clean up Scott's room on the second floor, Bauer said in an interview. The hotel manager immediately called the police to make a report of the discovery, and members of the Badung Police Department arrived to begin their investigation at 1:13 p.m. Very specific. The ambulance transferred the deceased Canadian to Sangla Hospital for further examination. Now, there's been nothing new on this story since, but anyone who's only 45 and found dead in a room is obviously going to be suspicious, and who knows, it might be the dreaded virus. But I'll keep you informed if I can find anything else about poor old Scott. In an interesting twist on the lack of tourists in Bali, the almost non-existent situation for tourism in Bali, is that Bali farmers are saying their food is rotting due to the low demand from the lack of tourism. Local farmer from Penchasari village, Tabanan, Made Japa, said on Monday that since the COVID-19 pandemic started 6 months ago, the demand for agricultural products like romaine paprika, asparagus, tomato, beetroot and zucchini from the hotels and villas in Bali has completely stopped. We have to sell them to the traditional market with a very cheap price, and sometimes they are just rotting in storage when we can't sell them, Japa said. The head of Bali Production, Department of Agriculture and Food Security, Wayan Sunata, has said that this situation has been happening all over Indonesia. The demand from the market is still low. Farmers need to survive this condition by minimising their potential losses. We're all in the same boat, Sunata said. He also went on to suggest that farmers diversify their production to cover their losses from the products that aren't sold. I suggested the farmers to start planting sweet potatoes and taro because their prices are quite stable, Sunata concluded. And the last piece of news I have for you this week in your Bali News Update is this kind of sad story that McDonald's in Kuta has permanently closed after 20 years. Now, this McDonald's is a bit of an icon. It's right on the Jalan Pantai Kuta, which is the beach road, the Kuta Beach road. It's been there for 20 years and it's pretty iconic. In the statement and the press, after 20 years of service, the iconic fast food restaurant that was located right in front of Kuta Beach has decided to close down their business. Both locals and expats were shocked and saddened after seeing the announcement on the front door that was posted last Sunday, September the 27th. The McDonald's location has not given a reason for the closure, but we can safely assume it's down to COVID-19. And since tourism is dead, the Kuta Beach area has become very quiet and seems like a ghost town, said one of the locals. So this might be the first of many of the big corporates to start closing down their stores in Bali. Can't say I would miss it or anything. I don't think I've ever stepped inside McDonald's in Bali. Not when you can get delicious food all over the place. You know, fantastic little warungs and restaurants everywhere. Can't see why I would want to go into McDonald's. But maybe if you've got young kids, it's a little bit of familiarity to them when they're away from home. So that's your Bali news update for this week on October the 4th. Stay tuned this week because I'm working and researching on something quite big. And it sort of revolves around the fact that Bali has been hiding death cases in their COVID-19 reports. And not just one or two, but quite a few. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get that research all verified and can get the video out later this week. So I'm Mr. Steve. That's your Bali News Update for October the 4th.
Mr. Steve! Mr. Steve!